and welcome to the latest in our series of interviews with industry specialists talking about how they're using video to help them out with some of the challenges posed by the coronavirus pandemic. This week, we're talking Medcoms with Deputy MD of Scientific Education Support, Gary Nolan. Gary, thank you very much for joining us.
A pleasure.
So let's get right into it. Can you tell us a little bit about Scientific Education Support and tell us a little bit about what your objectives are?
Yeah. So SES is an organisation that basically supports communities around disease areas overcome unmet medical educational needs, supporting communities stay up to date with the advances in medicine. So ultimately, patients get access to new approaches to rare and devastating diseases as quickly as possible.
Yeah, you used to get us to make you videos. We'd go to one congress and we'd be producing sort of upwards of 50 to 70 interviews exactly. Sometimes at a time. We were physically there and able to put cameras in front of people and to book them in back to back to back. Of course, those congresses don't happen anymore. So, I mean, if you could just take us through what we've changed, that would be really good.
Yes. So in terms of communicating those medical advances, the need still remains the same. Molecules are still being developed, advances are still being seen, and unfortunately, patients are still being diagnosed with, rare, difficult diseases to treat. So we've had to continue to do that. And the way that we are doing it quite successfully at the moment, our industry has been very quick and agile and is able to run these medical congresses virtually through webinars and audio posts and so forth. And we are able to continue to cover those. We're also fortunate enough to be able to have access to the world leaders, the doctors that communicate those advances, and through things like Zoom or various audio recording platforms, we're able to capture the advances from an audio or video perspective. So we're still able to deliver upon the objectives. We're just having to take a different approach to it.
Do you think it's important that people take on the responsibility of making themselves look good and applying some sort of professional standards to the way that their camera shoots them?
100%. We're limited by the quality of the camera in our laptop or piece of hardware.
Yeah, of course.
But then from an audio point of view, I think that's where we've run into the biggest problems. Is it's the video bit's quite easy. You open your camera up. If you've got, depending on the quality of the camera, you get a good picture. But the audios I found has been a really difficult one. When you're getting the feedback where someone's got their volume up too loud on the laptop and they've got headphones in, or they haven't got headphones in and the laptop's up too loud, or the microphone's too sensitive and it's picking up them breathing. Those types of things are very avoidable. Like one thing that happened, we had an email yesterday. So one of the patient groups that we support, they're part of a bigger network called We Can. And it's a European Cancer Network. And they've just made available webcams and microphones. They bought hundreds of them. And they've just they're shipping them to us, and we've got to send them out to all the patient groups. So that even people that I wouldn't necessarily think would be aware of the importance of, good microphone, good headphones, they're buying the hardware to support better communications amongst patient groups across Europe. And it's those types of things where you're thinking, God, people are taking this really seriously, like in a good way, the people are investing in hardware to communicate better.
Yeah, that's fascinating. That's kind of brought us up to date, I think. What do you think will happen next? I mean, especially in regards to how we might use video.
I think it's quite evident that we will not go back to the way that we have previously gone about our business. I'm hoping that our industry looks at things and goes, we're wasting so much money on unnecessary travel when it could be equally as successful, if not more successful, through embracing video type approaches to communication. I always say that it doesn't matter how you communicate. It's about being effective in your communication, whether that's through video, animation, audio, or some form of live presentation. I think there's going to be two types of content. We always aspire for the highest level of production, and I think there's always going to be a place for that in high quality production approaches to video and multimedia content. But I also think now there's going to be a real acceptance for disposable content. There will be a greater acceptance for low quality production in our professional environment, but it's always going to be a need for this high-end, high-level production. around hard to communicate topics.
Brilliant. Thank you. I think that's a good note to finish on. So we'll let you get back to work. Thank you ever so much for joining us, Gary.
You're more than welcome.
And thank you very much for watching. We really do appreciate any feedback you have to offer. So please do leave some comments in the section below. As ever, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.